Hello, guys. Welcome to another session of The Letter. On the last session, we have our boy Ashton kind of regroup with the rest of the gang at Isabella's apartment. Now, during their stay there, eventually they were attacked by the ghosts, and the ghosts kind of go chase them out literally the entire night. So they end up residing in the park, where they had some leftovers. Well, not leftovers, it was just from a convenience store. But they had a big fit about, who to blame who game type of thing, and Ashton's just getting frustrated. So they need a place to kind of just go to sleep. So they ended up going back to a bar, and he spoke to the bartender they can reside or stay there. So when Ashton, with his famous Batman levels of monologuing, he decided that I gotta do this what's best for the group, and I wanted to end it. And that's when our boy Zach comes out, be like, "Hey, bro, you okay?" Be like, "Nah, not okay, but thank you for asking. But I'm gonna go check out this mansion, monologue there." And Zach's like, "No, you ain't monologuing there, because I'm gonna have to end this damn game." And that's what we're doing for tonight. Other than that, I'm gonna hit this continue button, and I'm gonna give you the cue, senpai. All right. Okay, so this is where we last ended off here. So, senpai, take it away.
The sun. Oh,
My apologies. Did I do something?
it's the screen disappeared.
Oh, okay. It's probably because I clicked on something real quick. Hold on, I'll fix that.
Okay.
My bad.
No, it's
My bad.
okay. There you go. The sun hangs lower when I stumble back into consciousness and drag myself downstairs. Around this time, the patrons usually start to trickle into the main lounge until it reaches a peak around midnight. Today, however, it remains thin. But considering what day it isn't too worrisome for the kind of business G runs. He has always complained about the lack of a decent crowd on week start, although he doesn't really begrudge his customers for it. No one wants to start the week with a bad case of a hangover, after all, even him. Which makes the concerned look he gives me come off a bit too odd. With the kind of danger we're in, this swiftly puts me on the edge, even before sleep completely fades from my mind. Something wrong, G?
Yeah. Is there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm reading the narration and the character, I guess.
Does anyone want to be?
I know, it's
Not
bad.
I could be.
Okay, it was funny.
I could be Butler, man. I could be G.
You can read Ashton. I that was just literally a mistake, is all.
Ed, unless you want to do G. Okay, I'll do G.
Yo, something wrong, G?
G hums. What?
Why is G in two places at once? He's behind the counter too. Oh. Okay, sorry.
G hums, but there's an undertone of annoyance in it, despite his casual and open movements. And only after he finishes wiping a tumbler and carefully settles it face down on the table does he give me an answer. The way he stares back at me honestly makes me squirm. It feels like I'm being stared down by my primary school teacher for sleeping in class again.
Nothing much. Monday's still a slow day for this place, but you might want to check on your friends, kid. Looks like one of them woke in the wrong side of the bed while you were out.
Another question forms in my head along with a small, confused frown. Though, before a single syllable slips past my mouth, Rebecca's irate voice rings out from some part of the main lounge. From the sound of it, it appears woke up on the wrong side of the bed is a complete understatement.
Alone. You know we can't just go in there.
Isabella!
Isabella, Jesus Christ!
She's a
Yeah,
little
could
demon.
wanna be
Oh.
Isabella.
I guess I can do it.
All right, give it away. Give me your
We
angry
don't
girl.
have any other choice, Becca. There's no other way. We have to go there. If you just...
Isabella, no.
That doesn't sound too comforting. Once Rebecca assumes that kind of tone in an argument with Isabella, it usually ends with one of them walking out or both giving the other the silent treatment. It lasts for about a week at most, if it's really bad, which really isn't what we need right now. I've hoped that the bad blood from this morning will simply blow over after all of us has gotten a decent rest. I should have expected things won't be the same with them as it is with Zach and I. Turns out, sleep isn't just what some of us need. Even G appears to understand it. In spite of his efforts to look as unconcerned as possible, there's a tense set on his shoulders. A nervous edge lingers in his eyes, as it occasionally flickers over where Rebecca and Isabella's voices are coming from. He doesn't want to deal with this, especially at the start of another busy week. Neither do I. Things have worked out well between them before, without Zachariah meddling.
I like how his eyes are just like darting off, like, you're gonna let me speak?
But no,
This
I'm
monologue's
too busy
important.
monologuing.
I feel like that's like a low key thing, even like for the writers. Like, we wrote this character too long. What should we have him do? Just look around the corner.
But the
graphic-
imploring gaze G directs at me leaves me with no other choice. He really, really wants to talk. It almost feels like he's guilting me into doing something about it. I hate that it's working.
You know how I run this pub, kid? No fist fights, no cat fights, only good booze, bad puns, off-key thinking, and lots of monologuing. Go fix it before it blows up in your faces. I'd hate to throw two girls out of this place over a petty argument.
It's probably not as petty if Rebecca's already shouting like that. But I give him a nod nevertheless.
Sorry about this, G.
He hums something under his breath for an answer and waves me off, turning away and returning to his work without another word. Even with the lack of a sizable crowd, he likes to keep busy. We're the same in that regard. Can't remain still, always has to stay moving, doing something, thinking, whatever keeps the brain at work. I leave him to it shortly after. Rebecca's voice rings out once again, etc. But part of me wants to thank him for all the trouble he has taken for people he barely even knows.
Well written, G.
Once this is over, I should probably find some way. In the meantime, I have this immediate problem to fix. Gotta get to this before it turns into a shitstorm both of them will regret. And I know both of them will. For all of Isabella's complaints about Rebecca's bossy attitude, or how annoying Rebecca sometimes finds the other's childlike demeanor, it's a friendship they both cherish in their own way. Rebecca's already on her feet when I spot them in an almost deserted area of the pub. I'm willing to bet my entire life savings that people are staying away only because of the brewing storm.
The more I look at Rebecca, she looks like I'm gonna ruin Isabella's career.
Oh,
right
yeah,
here.
she looks
God.
pissed.
It's like they're about to play like an intense game of like Tetris or Bubble Pop, you know?
This looks like they're about to start fighting.
Yeah.
A little fighting game.
Hell
They're
yeah.
canceled on Twitter.
Cancel on Twitter. Let's keep going.
Time to save this the only way we can by becoming a common enemy for both of them.
God.
Rebecca can have
Alright.
quite the mood when she's crossed. I can't speak for Isabella. I rarely ever see her seething, but from what I've heard, it can be very unpleasant. The way she's glaring up at the redhead from her seat, regardless of how much the other woman towers over her right now, already says everything. Empty plates have been left neatly piled on one corner of the table they occupy. A conversation that turned sour sometime after a late lunch then.
This fucking detail. Jesus
God.
Christ.
Let's see. Is that like a piece of like leftover like steak or something? With some
Like brisket or
And,
something.
and
Yeah.
carrots.
maybe some cauliflower or
Oh,
rice?
hey,
We
Alan.
could drop.
Mm,
We could draw this whole
Alice,
plate,
you're
but we can't
here.
put like other outfits for the character now.
Hi.
Hi.
You're at the part when they're like Isabella and Rebecca are kind of duking out over a petty conversation right now.
We're gonna have a fight.
Yeah.
I have no context, and I'm okay with that.
They're about to they're about to suplex each other like it's WWE. But other than that, let's go.
Good thing they're already done and nothing's left to be spilled. Because in the next moment, before I can approach and intervene, Rebecca slams her palm on the table. It sends the silverware clinking sharply against the surface. Isabella flinches momentarily. We both do. Then she shows no indication of surrendering in the face of Rebecca's temper. Everything escalates from there.
You've already gotten us in enough trouble because of this letter, girls, everything.
Take it, Alice.
Hey, you're blaming me again?
And you can't expect everyone to fix your mess.
You keep on putting the blame on me, but you're the one who didn't listen. All of you. If you just listened in the first place, maybe this wouldn't have happened. But you're too busy acting like you know what's best for everyone, when in fact you're the only one who's being selfish.
Oh, I'm the one who's selfish? Yet you're still going to do what you want anyway, even if the people around you are already beside themselves with worry. This is how you've always acted since we met, and I'm tired of it. Sometimes I wish you never even came here, because all you've given us is a headache.
Oh.
Oh, that's racist.
What?
Oh
I
yeah.
think she's saying like, yeah, go back to your own country. Like,
Yeah.
About to say it.
I wish
Oh,
you even
damn.
came here because all you're giving us is a headache.
Oh,
Like I'm
man.
getting that impression. That's I don't know.
Is Isabella
Yeah.
from Spain or something? Or?
She's like Puerto Rican.
She's-
Oh, okay,
Isn't she
okay.
Filipino?
Yeah,
or
she's from
I think
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
Philippines.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Man, either
Filipina.
way, that is racist.
That's pretty messed. That's pretty messed up.
Man,
Don't worry, it's the UK, so it's okay.
screw you, Isabella. Sorry.
Your dad had nothing to do with this.
Oop.
It has always been you and your whiny, careless self that has always been the problem. Oof.
Well, I'm glad it's not my fault anymore.
Maybe I should have stepped in earlier. Maybe I should have said something the moment Rebecca has slammed the flat of her hand on the table, or the second I've entered the area. Either way, it's too late to act. Harsh words have already been hurled between the two. Words more cutting than any blade, each and every one of it digging a wound too deep in the person they've been aimed at. For a long time, Isabella sits there in silence, while Rebecca stands unmoving, arms crossed and breathing heavy. Despite the lack of words between them, they're both vibrating with anger, refusing to meet the other's eyes. Ever so slowly, the atmosphere in the room turns thick and smothering. A strained air no one in the immediate vicinity, including me, dares to break, until the one at its center does so. Rebecca definitely won't. At some point in our friendship, she has grown to become a woman firm with her opinions. She's never going to back down from this, not when she knows she has a point. Isabella, on the other hand,
Oh, here comes their
That eye
counterattack in the rap
twitch.
battle.
Ooh.
Here we go.
there has always been a certain stubbornness in her. As frustrating as it is to see sometimes, it's what has gotten her through life's hardships. Perhaps even the only thing that has. When you have nothing else, people tend to cling on to what they have within themselves instead. But she also knows when to withdraw, when a struggle turns useless, a kind of awareness, almost second nature to her. When enough is enough, Isabella abruptly stands and marches towards the exit. In fast, rigid steps away from the hurt and painful words they've let fly earlier.
And Luke is just in the background eating popcorn.
Oh, shit.
She bumps into me in her haste, the impact nearly knocking her off her feet.
Isn't Luke an alcoholic? Why isn't he in the bar?
I'm sorry.
Good question.
The
He's-
writer just does not want to write me in.
He's probably drinking absinthe or something back at the mansion or something. I don't know.
Jesus.
Instinct kicks in at the last moment, and I reach out for her, grabbing her arm in a steadying grip. Surprise flits across her face, an expression mirrored by Rebecca behind her. Neither of them have noticed me.
Literal surprise Pikachu.
Ah,
I don't
yeah.
have things to say about
All
this.
right.
Uh,
Who do we want to shit on
This
right
is the
now?
moment.
You know,
Well,
you know what this means.
Isabella
Take
thinks
Isabella's
so.
side because Rebecca's being a bitch.
All
Yes.
right.
Good for him.
Someone
Alright.
catch me
I mean,
just
Isabella
not
is
because
right.
I'm pretty sure you know
Honestly,
what happened.
they're both too good for him.
All right. Should we go back to our?
Yeah, what's the option where we effectively blow them off?
Should we
Blow
go
them
back
off?
to doing our
There is
democracy
none, Zach.
Damn it.
vote
Someone
here?
catch me up this argument. What happened? I've been
Oh,
gone.
Maria, you
Oh,
changed
okay.
your profile picture.
The you
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
you remember the argument? You remember how people were blaming Isabella for showing them the chain letter in the first place, and Isabella was defensive about that? Yeah, it went to a boiling point.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
Becca's
no.
being like really
It's not
racist.
her fault. They grabbed the letter.
And
Yeah.
yeah, well, and Isabella is being very defensive about that.
Mhm.
Well, and Rebecca literally just told her she should have stayed back home, which is like
Yeah,
so
freaking-
racist.
Go back to the
That is
Philippines.
racist.
Yeah.
Isabella's side. I don't. We don't.
Rebecca definitely crossed the line.
Yeah,
man.
I'm on Isabella too.
Yeah.
All right. So, how many for
Team
Team
Isabella.
Isabella right now? Raise your hands.
Me, I'm
Yeah.
raising my hand.
My wife.
I know
One,
that
two,
I was going to.
three,
Let's go with Isabella.
Yeah.
four,
No
I
one cares
stand
about
with Isabella on this one.
five.
I vote for Isabella.
All right, that's
Yeah,
majority
I think
vote.
Is
We still use the word
Yeah,
stand.
Becky, you done goofed.
We
Team
still
All
use
Izzy.
right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
coup d'etat. I'm gonna
West
choose
Ham.
Rebecca's side here. So,
Oh, damn you.
And
no. Do you want to go?
Wow.
I did not see that coming.
nah, I'm just
Yes!
kidding.
Yes, Becky is right.
Man, I should do a thing where I could just have one choice that I can.
Yeah,
just
Ed has like
She
one.
better-
trump
that
card.
would have been
It's like-
okay, but you gotta establish that like at the beginning of the VN. You can't just do it now.
But it'd be
Oh,
funny though
He's,
if I
he's brought
did.
it up a couple of times, but
Yeah.
Not how democracy works.
She better
Yeah.
check herself before she Rebecca's herself.
You know what, Senpai? I'm gonna pick Rebecca. It's just 'cause. Anyways, I'm gonna start. Yeah.
Just for that, we're going to Isabella.
Oh, shit.
you okay?
Pussy.
Damn. Damn, man.
What's going on?
What is going on?
All right. Have you read your line?
Oh yeah,
Nick? I'm sorry.
yeah. You okay?
Rather than answer, once her shock subsides, she merely averts her gaze and hastily wipes the tears off her cheeks, like she only noticed them in that moment. Then, without another word or even meeting my eyes again, she gently brushes away my hand and runs off, leaving an awkward hush in her wake. Rebecca soon slumps on the chair Isabella has just left, gingerly
side
reaching
facing?
up to
Isabella,
press
right?
the bridge of her nose and breathing out a ragged exhale.
Yeah, we didn't really do much though. They both just kind of left.
Yeah, we're still in the bar.
Yeah. Arguments like this have always drained both her patience and energy, usually more than her rowdy students do, despite being no stranger to it. It's no excuse for her to say those things, though, and my disapproval must be clear enough on my face. When she finally glances back at me, her exhaustion immediately shifts back to annoyance, her mouth curving down to a tight frown. I cross my arms in response, waiting, a reaction verging on instinctive in the face of her irritation. Regardless of my opinions about this, I don't say anything yet, not until she's the one willing to talk.
Ashton, stop thinking and do.
Stop
No,
monologuing.
because another minute passes while we stare each other down, but eventually she breathes out again and relaxes her rigid posture. See, I knew it. That was the last.
What do you want, Ash?
Then return to monologuing a bit.
Do I actually have the? Oh,
If you have something to say, just tell me or I'm going back upstairs.
let me think about this. Did you really have to say it like that?
Well, how do you want me to answer her? Do you want me just to let her go there and do what she wants? I know you won't be too happy if I did that.
That's a low blow, Rebecca. Even for you. We all know she wasn't planning on staying here this long. There's no need to bring it up if all you wanted to do was stop her.
Did you even see how she's acting? She's not a child anymore. Even my students can do better.
Becca, she'll listen if you ask her properly. I know you mean well and you have a point, but please be a little more thoughtful next time. Go think about it for a while.
With your nose in her corner.
He's telling her, like, go back to your room and think what you've done.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Go to your room,
Everybody's
young
time
lady.
out.
Yeah, this
Just
is
think in
coming
your
out
head
very
for, like,
condescending.
10 minutes.
If I were in a bad mood, I would just be more pissed after hearing that.
Oh, hell
Right,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
By some miracle, the whole discussion ends right there. Rebecca elects to stay silent, or at least it's how it seems when a minute or two passes and she says nothing.
She's internal monologuing now.
Oh no.
Looks like the internal monologuing rubs
Her
off.
eyes, her eyes tell the tale.
It's like, I remember the moment when I used to love Ashton, but no longer after that moment, taking in that bitch's side.
Ooh, tell me more, Becky.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
And then Luke has a monologue.
I know, right? What is going on?
Oh, I have monologues all day.
All right, let's continue.
A rare occurrence when she almost always has something on her mind. Only an uneasy atmosphere hangs in the air when I finally decide to remove myself from the room. She doesn't stop me. Instead, something inexplicable flickers momentarily in her eyes, one that quickly disappears until only a vague notion of it remains in memory. But in that one exchange, I've caught a short, clear glimpse of what has shifted, of what's inevitable. So much has changed throughout the years. We will never be the same person we once were. And if it's for the better, we've yet to know.
So, Senpai, are you still
Yeah.
okay for monologuing a little bit more? Or?
Yeah, I'll do it for as long as you want me to. If you want to take over, that's fine too.
I think I'll let you have one more scene, then I'll take over. So,
Okay,
all right,
cool.
let's go.
A lull has descended in the main lounge once I return. G's nowhere to be seen. People continue to trickle out instead of in, and by the time I get back, only 2 tables remain unoccupied. Soon, these people too will be gone, and the whole place will be devoid of anyone. Frankly, its current state already lends the place an entirely different vibe. Along with the soothing strum of strings and the steady beat of drums playing overhead, there's a calming sense to this. A far cry from times I've been here before. And perhaps it's for this reason why Isabella has chosen this place to retreat. She sits quietly in the furthest corner of the room, in one of the tables set right beside the windows.
Okay, but where'd Rebecca go? She went upstairs, she said?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
G usually keeps the curtains close around this hour, but a small portion of it has been pulled back, revealing the busy streets outside. The late afternoon light spills right through it, outlining her small form and pooling on the surface of the table, where both her arms rest. In her hands, she flips a piece of folded paper, turning it from one side to the other without any purpose. The letter.
Hey, that's the game.
Oi. A small frown creases her forehead while she stares at it. Yet there's something oddly tranquil in the picture she has unknowingly painted. Something I can't bring myself to disturb, if only for a few seconds. It's one of those moments again. The rare ones. The ones where she's too still, too quiet, a complete opposite of her usual self. But it's these that often leave a mark. Not her cheery disposition or her lively attitude, but these short few seconds of wordless silence when the softest sighs and the slightest movements sing louder. The smallest, minuscule things that tell you about the person and her strength more than any words can express. But I've got plenty of words to express it.
Oh boy, here go
Oh
the dictionary.
It's these that carve a vivid memory, no matter how brief it lasts.
Does anybody in
Briefly.
the world actually think like this?
I
Probably.
hope not. And if they do, I hope it's really fast.
Only when they're trying to, like recall their feelings in a way that is pseudo-poetic. So probably like this guy was, the person that wrote this story was probably like in junior high or something.
That or getting paid word by the minute or
Or
something.
get like a
Listen, I think this was written by like 2 people or something.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
written
okay.
by 2 ladies, I think.
Okay.
If I read their names correctly.
They made
Some
a
of it-
terrible misunderstanding on how guys think.
Some of it's kind of cool, but like it's weird when it's first person narration like that. Like people don't tend to narrate things like that. Like if it was a third person narrator, it would make more sense. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
Makes sense.
she glares at me, annoyed, and just like that, all of it melts away. Gone is the stillness, replaced quickly by the teasing and friendly jibes. Back again to what we're used to. What's easy, what's familiar, where every truth we hope to convey, regrettably, goes unsaid between us.
I'm starting to think like if those 2 writers take like theater class for like inner monologues or something.
Yeah,
This is
maybe.
what it's like they're practicing on.
Mhm.
I mean, it's cool for some scenes, but not every goddamn scene when you have to think about it. But
Yeah.
other than that, let's continue.
You're going to destroy an important piece of evidence if you keep doing that.
But she's far from angry. A bit upset, maybe? Who wouldn't be? While I do agree with Rebecca, her words still hit way below the belt. Regardless, Isabella doesn't seem like she'll start shouting at me. At least compared to every other person I've aggravated, intentional or otherwise. Some light talk may just do the trick and coax her out of this mood.
Hey, come on. If you keep staring at the table like that, you're gonna bore a hole in it. I'm so funny. And I really don't want to OG a new table. You know he'll pick the most expensive one and leave me begging on the streets.
She levels a quick glance at me, her expression dry and impassive enough to drain every color out of the room. It's as if I've just told her a terrible joke and she's expecting there'll be more of it. Really now. She needs to give me more credit than that. My jokes are funny when I want them to be.
Bah!
And oh, sorry.
It's okay. And I really don't care. I'd even take pictures and post them online.
What the heck? You'd make everyone see the letter.
Go away, Ash. I don't want to talk right now.
Yet it sounds half-hearted at best. She doesn't want to talk, but she wants to smooch. No. Like, what's happening has already sapped every bit of energy in her, and all that's left are the words. Pretty soon, those two will lose their meaning and leave a hollow shell in their wake. It's already unusual to see her like this. Everything has already gone to shit. I'd like at least this one thing to stay normal. So somehow we manage. We continue for the better half of the hour, talking, joking, with her short, feeble responses and banter that never goes anywhere. But it's enough. In the grand scheme of things, amidst the chaos and death shadowing over us, it's these little inconsequential moments that matter. It's her smile, her laughter, when it finally rings, easy and free of her burdens.
Okay. I have another one.
I don't want to hear it, Ashton. Go away.
So these two dogs walk into a bar, right? No, really. Listen. I know someone who talks like an owl.
Will you leave me alone if I bite and I ask who?
Ooh.
It's you.
It's you, Isabella.
God damn it.
A pause. And then she frowns as realization slowly dawns on her. Confusion flashes fleetingly across her face before eventually settling on a grimace.
The worst puns is when the person receives it says it, the pun itself. It's the worst feeling. God damn it.
Oh.
Suddenly, she hugs her arms closer to herself and looks away, perhaps in her best attempt to stay angry.
Look at that tsundere blush. You can't hide that.
Aw, so cute.
Aww.
Yeah,
Alright.
to no avail. In a matter of seconds, her shoulders shake with laughter she's trying to contain.
You're awful, and I really hate you. Just leave.
It's contagious, her mirth. Soon I'm joining her in it, briefly forgetting every problem that has piled up and continues to weigh down on us. Laughing without reservation or care until only a familiar warmth lingers, once both our amusement ebbs away. Somehow with her, these things have always come easy.
Feeling better?
A little. You're still lame, though.
But you're laughing right now.
Only because your humor is terrible.
She's laughing at you, not with you, Ashton.
Oh, right. Well,
what's
keep
the
telling yourself
difference?
that. I know it's funny. And you know what? If you kept frowning like that, your face might have cracked. And that would have been really messy and ugly.
If glares can kill, with the one she sends my way, I'll probably be dead by now.
Really, what the hell was that? It's even more ugly.
Yeah. Seeing it directed my way, it takes only a few quick seconds for me to realize how she might have also taken my statement. How wrong and rude it might have sounded in her ears, however unintentional it is. I've never been good with words, but that's never an acceptable excuse, is it? Especially when I use so many words. Suddenly, taking the brunt of her anger seems less complicated than correcting or explaining myself. Nevertheless, I try.
Oh, wait, no, I mean, crap, sorry, that was not what I meant to call you ugly.
The more I read these monologues and these actual conversations, if you take out the monologues, the scene would have been ended a lot more quicker.
Yeah, definitely. You're right.
Financially quicker.
Yeah.
Or those like 4-panel jokes that are like way funnier if you take out like the second and third panels. It's just
Oh, damn, he's telling her she better smile. That's not cool.
I was just saying, you know, you look better when you're smiling.
I'll be back.
Everyone
1 minute.
does. Idiot.
Should. You look ugly when you're not. Oh my god.
Yeah, what the heck? Ashton, come on.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, you can get to the next. I kind of fumbled through that word.
I was just looking at you better when you're smiling. Come on, Ashton, speak clearly.
Ed couldn't take the writing anymore, so he just pieced out.
Yeah, he dipped on us.
I guess we gotta wait a minute.
Getting another burrito.
Oh, for God's sakes. This man is sad. This is supposed to be my arch nemesis? For sure.
Is it? Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting when it gets to the Luke chapter, like seeing things from his perspective, I guess.
Hmm. He may have gotten pulled aside by his family or something.
Yeah, he said he had to go for a second.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was joking and that he was referring to, like, he couldn't take this anymore.
Oh, yeah.
The tsundere blushy, but he might have literally had to step away for a second.
Yeah.
But honestly, this is pretty hard to take.
Yeah.
I posted a meme this reminded me of in the fan art and memes.
So supposed to
I
be at
was
the
thinking
mansion
that.
already.
Yeah, where it's like the guy is like, you know, what is he thinking about? And it's like, oh, dang.
Because I want, like, there's 2 female writers apparently, and they're trying to write from a male perspective. And you know, usually that's like men trying to write women perspective, and it's really messy and it doesn't really work. This is like the opposite of that, but just as bad. Like, I bet guys have these really deep thoughts about us, and like they think really hard about their feelings and everyone else.
Yeah,
and they
no.
Like, not really that complicated.
He fell asleep. I cried. I don't know what to do. I'm almost sure that his thoughts are with someone else. My life is a disaster. His drive. My motorcycle won't start. Can't figure out why. Oh, God,
Exactly.
that's funny.
It's why the whole like 16-year-old thing with Rebecca is so silly. Like,
Yeah.
a guy knows if he likes you within like a month of meeting you. That's not going to change. If he doesn't like you after a month, he's not going to like you.
Honestly, like 30 seconds, really. But
Really, I'm being generous.
They met when they were kids, though. There's a little like a lot of layers there, but still, by this point, your feelings are pretty well established.
Yeah, it ain't changing. And if it does change, it's probably a hostage situation or emotional hostage situation. Like,
I mean, they
if
do
it
say
did-
stress brings people together, but this is not the kind of
Alright. Sorry
Welcome
about
back.
that.
drama. I can't
I think
remember.
it goes brings people together. Stress.
Yeah, my apologies about that, guys. Alright, so other than that, let's see. Did you say that funny long
I
text?
think I
right there?
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her glare doesn't even wane. In fact, I think it intensified like the brewing storm. In the face of it, under the sharpness of her stare and her annoyance, I do what any person with a good sense of self-preservation does. keep my mouth shut, and shift my attention elsewhere, and ghost the fuck out
No,
of
you're
it.
in a monologue now.
The crowd outside looks very interesting today. Maybe I should...
Oh, she smiled. Cool.
Thanks, Ash.
She utters all of it. All of it? 2 words? In a voice too small, too quiet. But when I turn to her, only those words, her gratitude, resonate throughout the whole room.
Ugh.
Not the soft clinking of silverware somewhere, nor the last strains of music fading into silence above us. Instead, it's the meaning behind her gaze as she holds mine that lingers. Ooh, steady, unflinching, and open in the same way she looked at me all those years ago, with bright eyes and an expression softening into a tender smile. I didn't understand it then. How easy it is for her to wear her heart on her sleeve, how she never shies away from expressing herself, even among people she barely knows. How she can go through everything without losing herself. Now it's among the hundreds, the thousands that hang unspoken between us. Trivial, little things with worth still too big to put into words. Either because it's too early or because there's never really a proper time. For now, though, this'll do. Until the moment itself dwindles. Until reality pulls us back in, reminding us of the things we've set aside in its favor.
Isabella, about what happened with Rebecca earlier.
She didn't have to. Oh, sorry, God.
That's okay. She didn't have to say that.
A small frown returns to her face. Although it lacks the same anger from before, bitterness stays.
And you don't have to apologize for her. If she wants to say sorry, she has to do it herself.
She has a point, though.
She do.
Mm-hmm. Isabella freezes. In an instant, the pleasant air around us dissipates. She shifts her attention back to her hands again, both clenched so tightly that her knuckles visibly pale.
I know, Ash. I just thought we'd find something in there. That if I go back, we'll get the answers we need. I found the letter there, so maybe, right?
It's not that I don't agree with her. Hell, I've been considering the same thing. It's the only lead we have, after all. But Rebecca also has a point I will agree with, no matter how desperate I am. I will always agree with, no matter how desperate I am. It's not going to... who knows what we might find in there. If she comes with me, I won't be able to guarantee her safety. She'll be in even greater danger. Hence, alone. Exactly as I have told Zach. If there is a need to go back to that accursed place, I'm doing it on my own. Whether or not the rest of them agrees with this plan is inconsequential. Their well-being is my top priority, and I'm not just about to drag them in there with me. So I tell her as much, despite the determination and desperation in her eyes.
Oh.
Alright.
Anything to keep her safe.
So, do we tell her it's dangerous? Or do you say I can't let you do that?
Well,
I don't know.
Hey, it's
Both
dangerous.
yeah,
Dangerous.
it's not
I
for
feel
us to tell her
like
what she can and
It's
can't.
it's like giving her a fair
Yeah.
warning versus like, nah, girl, you ain't coming with me. type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the first one.
Like, give her the choice at least, you know?
All right. So let's
Dangerous
see.
to
She
go
wants to
alone.
go
Take this
Operation Let Ashton Die. Let's go. It's dangerous.
Oh, is that the choice that's
I'm
I
just
don't know.
kidding. All right. Everybody agree with it's dangerous?
Yeah.
All right. It's dangerous.
No, forget it, Bella. You're not going back to that mansion. Wait,
I thought we said not telling her
But
that.
Ash, what about?
he's just a jerk with either option, I guess. Look, this isn't up for debate. Do you really think they'll just let you in? Do you really think they give a damn if you walk in there carrying that stupid letter of all things?
Hell, he just turned into a dick.
No, but there has to be something we can tell them. Ash, they were with me during the open house. They have to know. They're in as much trouble as we are. They're living in that place. That ghost woman came from there. Both her and the letter. Something's in that house, Ash. And whatever it hides might be the only thing that'll get us out of this mess. I don't know.
Alright. Supposing you do find an answer there, what happens? Let's say that, by some dumb luck, you go inside and found something. What if you see her again? What if she goes after you? What are you going to do? You don't have a gun.
It's not like we have any other choice. Besides, I'm pretty sure you've already thought of the same thing. Admit it.
That doesn't mean I'm going to let you run straight into trouble. What you're planning to do is risky. For you. Give it up, Isabella.
Oh, unexpectedly, Isabella merely clams up. No resistance. No further argument like I've come to expect from her. Uncharacteristic. Just a silence that stretches far too thin, till the air in the whole room grows awkward and suffocating. A standstill that'll get us nowhere. Although, if there's one thing our talk has wonderfully succeeded at, it's making me feel like a total asshole and a hypocrite. And I am, considering my plans tonight. Sure, I can tell her, but what good would it do? I've already told Zach, one person is enough. Hell, simply letting someone in on the plan makes me iffy. Broadening that circle and revealing too much would just cause another pointless concern. But someone has to be aware, at least of where I'm heading off to, in case things don't pan out. Expect the worst, even if I've only intended to do a quick survey of the place. In my own words, risky. Isabella doesn't need to be burdened with the worry my entire scheme entails. I like to think that, yes, to some extent she understands, even if she does not entirely agree with me. The dilemma's clear in her. Otherwise, her scowl wouldn't have a deeper set to it. Her lips wouldn't be pressed in a thin line, and her hand would no longer be balled into fists.
Bro, guys do not think about this stuff. Like,
She would have, yeah, she would have pushed that argument. If she doesn't, and I know she has no lack of things to say. Maybe it's because she has already heard the same thing from Rebecca. Maybe my words have made her come to her senses. Either way, it's best that we simply leave it here for now. I stand up as soon as footsteps shuffle from the next room, its cadence slow and hesitant. Shortly, Rebecca comes into view, clutching her hands firmly in front of her and sporting the same uncertainty in her face. She casts me a cursory look, then shifts a nervous one to Isabella, who studies her with an almost hopeful gleam in her eye. Their fights never did last long.
Bella, can we talk alone?
Her interruption could not have come sooner, and I'm all the more glad for it. Whatever kind of friendship I share with the two, this remains something for only the two of them, much like my own with Zach. I'm the outsider. They don't need me here. It's all the reason I need. Muttering an excuse, I beat a hasty exit out of the main lounge and leave them to mend things on their own. Before Isabella can say what she's been mulling over. Before the last imploring glance she directs my way forces me to change my mind. It's another lasting image that firmly etches itself in my memory, one that spurs the conscience, among other things. I just hope I won't regret what I've chosen for myself tonight.
Oh, finally, we're out of that place. Holy crap. Alright, let's see.
That was a slog, and I was late. I feel bad for people who've been here this whole time, and Ash's freaking monologues.
I'm just happy Senpai
Yeah.
took the bullet for me in that one. That saved my
Yeah.
voice. Because, just a little tired, but I got time to recuperate if you want me to take over, Senpai.
You can do it. Go for it, Edo.
Alright, I'm gonna do this in the Kermit the Frog voice here. So, the
Oh,
gallery
no.
show Monday
Oh,
night crowd,
Jesus.
and, it's
Please.
Joey Shaw's Monday night crowd. Although small and purely.
Kermit the Frog, Ed.
It's
Like,
been a
real
while.
bad.
I
It's
didn't
fine.
say it was a good one.
Or do it like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Gallery Shaw's Monday night crowd. Although small and barely occupies a
Oh, now we're
quarter of.
talking.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, motherfucker!
I would love
From the dead, asshole!
I would love to hear an audiobook of Arnold Schwarzenegger
That's supposed to be
reading a
okay.
book. But
Ed, take over with whatever voice you want.
Anyways, I'm just gonna do my normal voice here. Gallery Shaw Monday's night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides an ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. This is exactly what I need tonight. With the lively music and chatter slipping out mostly unseen becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxborn night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out. Getting hiccups now. Holy crap. Carrying the telltale smell of an impending rain. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour, if even stronger than the one we had this morning. On instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material close to my body while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, though I pay no mind as I hurry towards my car. I've nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings on my way out. If this is all connected, I need the stamped piece of paper with me.
Oh, we stole it.
However ridiculous it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed either, but I can't waste the time here and wait for her to find out, can I? For hours, I've given myself to get this done. 3, if I'm inclined to go by the rule Z-Man set, but when I ever have ever. Regardless of how generous that is, the sound just as important as the next. So I hurry, one footstep over the other, echoing as I make my beeline for my car. But with every plan, problems crop up at the last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does. The form of a lone figure waiting for next to my car. Rebecca just turns just as I near, the corners of her mouth twitching up in a weird smile. She offers no greeting except for a slight tilt of her head. Even my pace slows, and I look at her with all the unvoiced questions in my eyes. She remains wordless, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up to the starless sky. When I come up to her and stand beside her, another gust of wind blows as she breathes out a sigh, weary, thick with something close to her exhalation. What kind of shoujo writing is this? The
Good
breeze
Lord.
carries all of its way always. The breeze carried all of it away while she hangs her arm close to herself to keep warm, which raises the question why she's out here. The air's already heavy with the promise of rain. the clouds obscuring the views. There's really nothing left to the look, but a dark blanket of nothingness. She stands there as she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That or she's here for some other reason. Oh, Brandon, you got something like rubbing on your mic, buddy.
Oh, my bad.
How you good, buddy? I just want to let you know. But before I can voice a single word, express a disapproval of any kind, she raises a halting hand at me, sharply cutting off the rest of my question.
I'm not here to stop you. Wherever it is you're planning to go off tonight. I won't be able to anyway. You look like you've already made up your mind.
Go back inside. It's going to rain soon. I can tell by the smell. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to get caught in it.
I will, in a moment. I just want to stay out here a bit for some air, away from the noise inside. Everything's been so chaotic these days. A little break is nice, even if it means standing in the middle of a parking lot, of all places. Getting out of this mess would definitely be better, but hey, you take what you can get, right?
It'll be over soon.
The confidence in my own words surprises even me. How do I know? Why am I so sure? When, in truth, what I'm about to do is a last-ditch effort. If this fails, if I don't find anything, we're back to square one. It is the last lead I have. After this, we'll have nothing else to go off from. Regardless, it seems to amuse her. Her laughter soon sounds above the murmur of the distant traffic and the light drafts sweeping around us.
Oh, how I wish. I'll be content as long as she stops showing up in my mind, wherever I close my eyes.
I think that may take some time. The brain doesn't easily forget trauma.
I can try. But, it also did a lot to us.
Tell me about it. The back of my head's still smarting from my fall last night.
Not that kind. I'm talking about us, as people.
Is she confessing?
God, I hope not. I hate to admit it, but this whole deal with the ghost, with the curse, it all sort of brought out an ugly side to us.
Why are you blushing saying this?
And it made me realize plenty of things.
Oh no.
That I don't.
There's a
About
tsundere blush.
myself.
She's caught
Don't
feeling.
do it, Becca.
She's gonna do it. She's gonna pull the trigger.
Becca, we talked about this. About us.
There it is.
There it goes.
God damn it. Rebecca trails off suddenly.
Is your relationship chart? How are we doing?
Let's find out. We're maxed out on Isabella, so this is probably our moment we're gonna turn her down. Officially, maybe.
Oh God.
We're maxing the Isabella trend. Also, we suffer a negative consequence. Maybe it's from like telling the dangerous thing. But
I've heard siding with Isabella.
yeah. Other than that, Rebecca trails off. Suddenly, a pensive expression spread across her face. I've seen it countless of times before, and every time I see it on her, it's usually followed by a memory. A silly story, even for something embarrassing I've said from childhood. Unlike me, who'll much rather forget, she remembers each of them so easily. And after a short bout of silence, when she smiles, I know it's one of those times again.
Do you remember that one time, back in secondary?
Which
Tyler
one?
band camp?
We did a lot of dumb things back then. Well, I did, but you get the point.
Mandy.
Oh, I thought you still don't like her. Don't tell me you've kept in contact with her. Are you guys friends now or something? Behind my back?
Oh, no. We do see each other sometimes. On the way to work or when I go out for lunch, but it's nothing like that. We're not friends. Not in this lifetime, I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get along, but if I wasn't for her, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be friends, yeah? You stood up for me that day, and from then on, things have changed.
She makes it sound like I'm sort of hero. Mandy, was I in the wrong? Of course, I'll defend her. If there's no one going to stand up for her, who else will? Chances are, it would have escalated, and who knows? Maybe she would have stopped going to school or transferred. Any decent human being with an ounce of sense would know better.
He's got like a martyr complex, and she has a hero complex. This is a mess.
Yep. And I acted because I know what I'm doing is what's right. It is simple as that. Yet she smiles and is worth more than that. A fondness that goes beyond nostalgia.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is this time I don't want this to go unsaid.
17 years too late, child.
Just let her have it. Just let her have it.
No.
She's gonna do it.
You know, just in case something happens. Ash.
I wonder we're gonna like put the index finger between her mouth and just like shh, don't even say it. God fucking damn it,
Becca.
Piece of shit. Girl. Alright, you know what? I need to get a drink after this really bad. Alright.
I need several.
He's gonna leave us on this cliffhanger?
Anyways, say the line so we don't have to read that.
Fine. By no choice of my own, and through poor characterization, I must admit that I have always been in love with ya.
As I've cringed deep within my own heart as a narrator, she says this so plainly, holding my gaze in a voice too frank, that her admission stuns me into a... Like the wind, she has suddenly knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words were formed, and not even a single coherent thought as the meaning of her words will bear me down on me. Nonetheless, she continues desperate to express everything she has kept to herself all these years. This is what the fondness is.
Nani?
Why, for her, it weighs heavier than any feelings of nostalgia can carry.
Since that time at secondary? Since I made that promise to never leave? I have always, always truly loved you.
Afterwards, there's relief.
Is secondary high school or?
I think that's like...
Yeah.
Is it high school or middle school?
Yeah, like secondary school. I think that's how they're
high school, yeah.
Okay. Afterwards, there's relief. A weight seemed being lifted from her shoulders after so long. She closed her eyes and lets out a breath. She looks back to me, though there's nothing but hope in them. Eyes that are searching for an answer. Facing the sincerity behind her words, I find myself gasping, scrambling for the words. Because as much as this pains me to admit, I can't give her the same affection she's been asking from me.
Who could have seen this coming?
We might have spent so many years alongside each other. Hell, we practically grew up together. I see her as a sister, bro. But this never
monsters are my only true.
But there's never automatically means I'll never hold for her feelings that goes beyond boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate her presence in my life. I do more than glad that she is stuck with me even through the toughest moments.
Is he just standing there silent after she's confessed?
Yes.
You know it.
This is the anime 2-minute wait period. Maybe this is longer in this one. But when she finds me difficult or aggravating, however, it is really all there is to it. She's a close and important friend to me, but nothing more.
Yikes.
Rebecca,
I draw in a breath, ragged, unsure, uncertain how and which words to put together, so it hurt her less, so the wounds they might leave won't be as deep or a scar. Though before I can even string two phrases together, she lifts my hand to my mouth and silences me. a smile on her face, kinder than every
she about to
single
chloroform
one
you or
I've
something?
seen for her so far. I've seen it on her face. It suits me more than glares or the frowns. But at the same time, it only serves to baffle me.
You don't have to answer me.
Well, yeah, but you should. I should.
No, I mean, you don't need to. What is that expression?
Well, okay, you say so, but
That's
now
the
I'm really confused.
That's the face of defeat.
Oh, God. Poor Becca.
I mean, one moment you're saying you've been in love with me since secondary. Now you're telling me to shut up?
If you want to interpret it like that, all right.
What kind of mixed message bullshit? I mean, no, really? So, an explanation would be nice, Becca. Because a lot of things are going on right now, and I'm afraid I just can't catch up. Especially with this whole curveball you just threw.
It means what it means, Ashton. You don't need to answer me. I don't really need to hear it anymore. It's not that I don't want to. Believe me, if I were the same person I was before this whole thing happened to us, I'd be elated, excited even. But like I said, I also realized some things, understood myself more. Ash, I did love you. Ever since we were kids, and all those times you defended me from bullies, I don't think that's ever going to change anytime soon.
Oh, it's
Not
past
the least.
tense. Okay.
Character growth.
But at the end of the day, once you take a closer look at everything, it also turns me into a really selfish person. When you think about it, maybe the Ashton I loved isn't the one sitting in front of me right now. It's a very common
Shit.
name, you know?
I'm going to find my own Ashton, this Luke character soon.
I have a doppelganger?
Maybe all this time I'm still clinging on to that aloof kid I met 17 years ago.
Is that
17
pedophilia?
goddamn years! I didn't even consider that you had a mind of your own. That one day it won't just be the two of us. That you'll find someone else and it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Becca.
I'm not sure what I've been apologizing for. That I can return her feelings? Or is that I'm somehow holding myself responsible for this? Even if up until now I have no idea how she felt. Because I'm a dense motherfucker. But that...
17 years!
Jeez.
Regardless, she continues to smile through all of it.
Didn't pick up one sign.
Oh, it's not your fault. Don't say that. I'm the one who should apologize since I suddenly sprung this up on you when you have other things to do. I just thought I should let you know, so I can finally let this whole thing go and have my dysfunctional relationship with Luke. One
Oh,
question
yeah.
though. Are you going to tell her?
She knows.
What? To tell what to who?
I pause.
What?
I pause, frowning because I'm still a dense motherfucker. A brief moment of doubt while I try to figure out what she's talking about all of a sudden. When it finally sinks in, though, my bewilderment hastily gives way to an utter embarrassment.
Oh.
Oh! That's right. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. That's your line.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you mean my side chick. Sorry about that.
Oh, God. For a minute, Nick, I thought you were going to do like, oh shit, it's a rat meme or something.
Oh, no.
Alright, so anyways. Heat abruptly crawls up my face no matter my efforts to keep it down. In the end, I can only look away from her, afraid what else she'll see in it.
Did you really think no one would notice, you dipshit? Even a blind man could see that.
What? Was it really that obvious?
It was surprisingly easy to tell, but that was probably because I've known you longer than anyone.
Ah, fuck. Who else knows?
I think Zach suspects.
Ah, shit. Now it's man too.
You're embarrassingly lame when you're trying too hard. It's almost painful to watch. Kinda cringe, not gonna lie. Don't worry though. With your terrible way of flirting and knowing her, I'm quite sure Belle has no idea, even now. Not even a clue.
That's harsh, Rebecca. Really harsh. I could use a vote of confidence, you know.
She laughs, loud. The kind that's free of any burden, ringing from the wind, slowly picking up as the storm clouds approaches. With it, however, the awkward atmosphere lifts at last. The only camaraderie we've shared since meeting in that classroom 17 years ago. God damn, that was 17 years ago.
17 years. Good lord. I'm serious though. Tell her. And if you ever make her cry, I'll hit you with every damn history book I have on my shelf. Clear?
Noted, ma'am.
Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I won't keep you long. I know you have things to do. Just promise me you'll be careful, alright?
She doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, she gives me a push with a force only heavy enough to throw me off balance. Caught unaware by the gestures, for a few moments I fight for purchase against my car's trunk, bracing my hand on its smooth surface. When I look up, with a string of reprimands ready at the tip of my tongue, Rebecca's already halfway through the parking lot. There's a small skip in her legs, with the breeze carries with the light while she's whistling. On a whim, I let the notes be the last thing I commit to memory before slipping inside my car and driving off. It sounds like a new beginning, more than anything. Another reason to be optimistic. Alright. It's currently 8:32. Do you guys want to stop here? Or do you want to do one more, Call of Duty one more scene?
I'm fine either way. I think that was a fine send-off, but I mean, it's 8:30. We can keep going if y'all want to.
I'm good either way.
Call of Duty one more?
Yeah, I can keep going. At least, I guess, hopefully we can make it to the mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one. Yeah,
Let's just get to the goddamn mansion.
right, let's
All
try and
right.
get to like somewhere that's not this far.
That's how I'm feeling.
Alright, let's see if we can finally get to this damn mansion after more monologuing. Alright, here we go. Within 10 minutes, I'll be driving out of Luxborn, heading straight for Anson Village. In the distance, flashes of lighting up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder is threatened with a rumble, seconds later, echoing long across the sky. With one last roar, the sky opens in earnest. Oh, there we go. Never mind. We can skip that Call of Duty. We'll do one more scene.
Oh, cool.
Alright, well.
Is
Oh my
this
God,
Luke's
man-
route? Or no, we're okay.
Do you
Okay, yeah, it's still Ashton's route.
wanna still push a bit more while we monologue in front of this damn mansion?
I'm fine with that, if y'all are.
Let's see if he at least like complains about the door or something. I don't know.
I'm just hanging here, so I'm good with whatever.
Alright, he's gonna talk about the roofing texture or something. I don't know. Alright.
I was talking about the rain. Jesus.
Alright. Let me
Oh,
try
the
to
rain
put this in a Batman
As if we
voice
can't see
here.
it in the visual novel.
It is a
Thanks,
visual.
Someone posted a meme of someone drinking. I don't get it. Are you saying Rebecca is thirsty? Is that what the meme was?
Hold on, I want to look at this.
Oh
meme
wait,
real
let me
quick
see.
here.
Where is it at?
Oh, right.
Oh, is this?
Sure, in
Oh.
that scene.
It's like a Anna Oop kind of thing.
When they're like confessing and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I got you. Alright, let's continue. The rain falls in the fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in the city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean have to like it. Luckily me, I've reached a mansion before the downpours turned torrential. The long slog from the Anson village by foot has already made difficult by the light drizzle and biting winds buffeting. buffeting against my body every few seconds. By the time I found cover under the tree lines lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders have already trenched. My hair is also stinging against my skin and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, the taser, and the gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. But that's the most important thing. However, those are the last of my problems at the moment. Sometimes after the heartwarming party, scumbag Wright has suddenly grown a brain and heightened the security around the mansion. The guard is now stationed at every possible point of entry. The main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's almost a miracle that no one has spotted me since I entered the property. Although that's probably because I kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way in for myself under this deluge, it'd be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving track.
Yeah. Really don't have the luxury either, do I?
Considering how off this place feels since I stepped into the property and the mansion came into view. Every light is off, even the security personnel on the patrol outside. The whole house itself feels empty, eerie, too quiet.
Wait, I'm
Normally-
sorry, is he monologuing and speaking to himself?
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's on brand.
Welcome to visual novel in the Ashton route. Normally, I'll pass it as some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not a far-off conclusion, with the place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something feels wrong.
Something's happened here.
Or about to. This whole reason why I haven't done anything yet, simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might have pressed for time, but it's not a careless idiot. Although, I need to find a way in, desperately so. Without thinking will only endanger me. With so many unknown variables what we're dealing with, I also have to act the assumption that someone is always dangerous, especially in this place. I can't act impetuously, is that how you say it?
Impetuously.
Impetuously, gotcha. As far as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of some thoughtless action. If there's a place that it deserves to be at, it's in its prison, not a morgue. Oh boy. There's the cry. So, when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter of the rain, then I do stir. A woman. Perhaps a servant? Or worse, Hannah Wright. It's coming from the force? It's right up ahead, in fact, not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, weary glance before following the noise, carefully keeping it in the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder as I goes as I need, until it abruptly turns to a loud, desperate, anguished cry. I break into a run, one nervous hand and ready on the gun holstered to my hips, and the other raised for balance as I scurry across a dense understory.
Just go shooting people and ghosts?
Hell yeah, because it's Resident Evil 4 time, baby. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay no mind to it. They're only the voice, the woman, and nothing.
Wait, shouldn't be Resident Evil 1 with the mansion?
Yeah, I mean, 4, you also go through a mansion. You also go through a lot of stuff, actually, in 4. But it was mostly, like, church stuff and villages and stuff. But other than that, abruptly, it all stops when I'm met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty.
Is it quick time?
Almost deafening in its stillness, even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears. Behind me, another branch breaks in. Oh, it's speaking. Dread surges within me while I spin around and take a step back, ignoring
That's
the
not
chilly
creepy at all.
pinprick crawling at the back of my neck. Before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting and tilting till the ground underneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. By then, it's too late. My foot slips under, and the rest of my body follows. Dark spots blur the edges of my visions. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echoes from a far distance, scurrying and scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that, there are voices, lacing venom with every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Over. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what it failed to do and of who I failed. I've been trying to desperately fix. Scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off ever so slowly, so chill seeps into the nerve of my body, washing every sensation in me apart from one. There's only fear. Once again, her laughter echoes in a sound of both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Hey, we're in the sex dungeon!
Oh,
I
yeah,
was, I was just like, I wonder if we were gonna get sent to the sex
Maybe we
dungeon
can finally get Marianne up in this room. Holy shit.
Nothing sexy
Finally.
about this dungeon.
So, fun question. It's 8:41. Call of Duty one more scene or no?
I want to see
maybe
Marianne pops up. We haven't seen her in forever.
Oh, yeah, that'd
But
be cool.
sure, yeah. If we find her
Alright.
down here.
That's...
Also, who is keeping those sconces lit? Like, is that fire or are they electric, do you think?
They're
Ghost
I think
magic.
they're
They're-
torches.
they're torches.
They're magic.
They're magic torches.
Oh, okay. I see,
know,
I see.
And if you look
Yeah,
at it
they-
real closely, the animation
they
is
run
just
out of oil
a
eventually.
wiggly effect. That's all it is. It's not even
It's just
enough
wiggling.
Yeah, it's like a lazy animation effect. I like it.
It's
It's
a
like
transform
they got
tool,
into
it's
like
great.
Adobe Effects and just make it wiggle. That's all they did.
That's all it needs.
Yeah, wiggle, wiggle.
Simple.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, the third one down is really wiggling. I love it.
Oh wait, is he jiggling like he's got his Dr. Scholl's
Yeah.
on? Like he's
Yeah.
jelly?
Break dancing.
All right. Well, let's
Okay,
see if we
Zach.
can see Marianne up in this shit here. So, half darkness greets me. My eyes finally snap open. The soft patter of the dripping water somewhere spurring my consciousness further. For a few short moments, I remain still, blinking away from the dizziness, allowing my vision to adjust from the lack of sight and my breathing to even out first, before pushing myself in one arm and attempting to stand. Turning a low is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right up in my arms and my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. My gun or my taser. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be any injury or a major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I skidded down prior to landing myself here. A comforting thought.
He scratches Doc Martens.
Yep. The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. By the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me grasping in short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light draft flows where I've fallen in. Coming in short, sharp pain bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel and brings in the fresh, earthly smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty scent of the place. Mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something
I like that
distinctly foul.
Injured and trapped in a sex dungeon, he's still monologuing.
Ooh.
Priorities, you know?
Determine what the
Oh
scent
my
is made
God.
of.
If the
Exact
ghosts-
chemical composition.
One of the ghosts is like a kinky, like BDSM ghost, and he just imagined every whip description. Oh God, no.
Oh,
Painful.
no. I hope not.
Like death. More worrisome than the putrid, festering smell. However, there are cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside in some of them, but I've already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into the moment. Knowing how long the mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of the place, it isn't too surprising.
Wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
I mean, it's pretty lit, so he pretty sure knows. Probably not. Unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this and move out at the first opportunity, and have it demolished. The very idea what occurs in this place years ago makes it be real as well. I've known long places like this to tend to hold secrets. This, though, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind this fucking letter. The fear inconsequential, as unpleasant as the sight of this is This place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last scope of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Oh, let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Turns out that alone is too much to ask for this early. Not 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel before fading just as swiftly as it rang. I paused, nonetheless straining with my ears for more of it, while I gradually moved my hand to my side, slow and steady, until the tips of my finger brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin is the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long moment, I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me from the form of a long, slow exhale and reverberates around the whole passage. Oh, I think that's you, Madeline.
Could it be Marianne?
Here we are.
Oh, who's there?
Perhaps this is what has happened earlier. Why wouldn't it be here? Or maybe it's because of my training. In spite of the panic and fear of that voice, I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw it closer to where the voice rings out again.
Don't make me call upon my training.
Afraid, frantic, weak.
Asking you a question. Who's there?
It's only after I release the safety I do answer.
How dare
Taking my
you get
approach
ready
and
to
careful and
shoot
steady.
Marianne?
I hope it's Luke and Madeline keeps voicing him.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself.
I can't. I'm stuck in here forever.
Forever, since like 2 chapters.
For 10 years.
For 10 years. Well, a ghost definitely definitely not be saying that, or a conversation like this, or be stuck anywhere. As to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back the grip of the iron bars and rattle it slightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell. Sure enough, a woman's inside. Slump on the door, holding the bars with shaking hands, clinging to it as the only things keeping her uptight. Not just any woman.
It's you. You're, what's your name? It's you. McLaughlin, the lady from the cat animals.
Sounds like a terrible McDonald's item, McLaughlin. The same one I met at G's 5 days
was
ago.
it Sarah
McLaughlin.
Miccolo or something like that?
And the arms of the angels.
Carry on.
Oh my god.
The same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed drunk and babbling her frustration about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. Miccolo. Marianne Miccolo, the famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks, trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing shallow, and there are paleness into her complexion, sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs pointing to starvation and dehydration.
Oh, what? How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in and that woman. Whatever. Can you get me out of here?
She should be like dying of dehydration, and she still got sass. I appreciate this.
Yeah.
In a moment. I need to monologue a bit.
I need to monologue.
Hold on, I need to assess my surroundings. Over here.
Look at this brick.
Go feed yourself before you fall over.
Wait, you just carrying around snacks now?
I mean,
Got some French fries.
He's like, there's some hay in the corner there, you know.
Here, I got some
He has spaghetti in his pocket.
granola bars or something, you know?
No, he has deviled eggs in his pockets.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
it's
he
definitely the
has.
devil eggs.
He's got a supply.
He is an egg boy. Right. Oh, it is an energy bar. Holy shit. I fish out
It's
an
egg
energy
flavor.
bar. Oh, sorry. I fish out an energy bar from my pocket and hand it over to her. She's lucky I always have one on my person.
No, she needs a bottle of freaking water.
Well, does he look like he carries water? Don't think so.
I mean, it's raining outside. He could like go out there, cup his hands, and just bring it to her that way.
Like rainwater
or something.
Thrown in here.
I don't know.
I don't think we like walked down into the
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts, a little sugar to keep me going. Like any starving person, she wastes no
Well,
time making
apparently
a grab
he's
for it,
diabetic.
unwrapping it straight away, and taking in whole mouthfuls of it. Relief washes over her face in the first bite alone, although she's going to need more than that if she said, what she has said is true. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort. If the puddle around the corner of the cells indicate anything, without water, the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks. Though, even then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some has survived longer than that. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now, to get her out, my bobby pins won't be any use. Not like I need it. Unlike the ones I have at the precinct, a simple barrel hinge holds the grates into this cell together. Even without any special tools, I should be able to still lift the door and free her. However, with how heavy it seems, I need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, like a 2x4, I guess, or plank, or a pipe.
What about that dang
Need to-
torch?
I need to do some crafting here in my Minecraft inventory. I mean, anything I can use as a lever.
You got 3 diamonds and 2 sticks? That's what I need.
Yeah, you got some diamonds. Make a pressure plate. Wait here.
The hallways yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered throughout. While I may have find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check and even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here. However, Mikola ended up inside.
Let's do?
My head snaps back to her. Mikola what?
Extricates, I think?
Extricates? Yeah, extricates a
guess so.
wooden board from under the mess of hay and twine near her. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is between the bars. In short, it appears thick and sturdy enough even for my intended purpose upon closer inspection.
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once in anchoring the other end of the plank at the base of the door and applying ample force on the other hand. It takes a bit of effort, but no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a grasp, and a creak. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifted off its hinge. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly metallic thud, but the sound of it puts elation on the Mikola's face. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you so much.
I got an achievement called Prison Break. Cool.
Alright.
Cool. After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up, I'll shoot you dead. About it.
How did you even end up here?
How did you end up here?
She looks awfully clean.
You know, it's a way of they couldn't pay artists to make a dirty variation of her, you know.
Yeah, they spent all their time drawing the food plates and stuff.
Like
too.
there was even like a scene where they had to like use writing to be like explain. Oh, Hannah has to wear the same dress instead of like a you know, this type of dress, or even like Rebecca when she shows up. like to the
Yeah.
freaking thing. It's like, oh, she's just still in the same dress because she doesn't have time to pick a dress or something. I don't know.
They make stupid excuses for it, yeah.
Yeah, but not for a second time. She appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
Looking for something. Someone.
A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes, something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last too long, but she still lives the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private, something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So, this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry. And I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
What do you mean?
What she just said.
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. It's kids! Oh god, kids!
Uh-oh. That is
I could-
horrible.
I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore.
Oh yeah, she found that video camera.
It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How has that thing even been in there? But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter!
You mean this one?
Pulls it out.
Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Oh, wait, McCullough, one at a time. You're...
It's all that fucking paper's fault. Oh god. Oh god. Dear Lord and Saint Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
McCullough.
Abruptly, she stops and looks back at me with a wild, panic-stricken eyes. I've seen enough of it so many times these past few days, but not from my own friends even. To know she has been seeing things. She has seen things. That's the kind that easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster a descent into it becomes. I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. It seems like no matter what we end up with, there will be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me.
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gone raving mad yet?
Let me get the glow sticks.
An exit's right there.
Oh, and this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not.
I wonder if that response would be different if we got her, like, leaning towards Luke.
Oh, if they...
Once.
We got them hooked up, maybe.
Yeah, but not...
We can just go...
But are you really sure you want to just leave him like this? And what about his wife?
Yeah, what
Yeah,
about
well,
his
well,
wife?
Okay, we can hold on there a second.
That's the drive to turn back and face your fears right there. It strikes a chord.
Oh,
Look at that freaking smile. Or like that shock, like, oh! Sorry, it just looks so funny. She falters and grows quiet from the tension lifts from her, and her shoulder slumps. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me. Only tell me enough info so I can figure this out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion and letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. Should provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and she squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
That's more than enough.